So.
Ach,
All the time when I make you host, it takes me out of the presentation. I don't know. Then I keep the host, okay? One
Okay,
more time,
no
Lisa.
problem, Bea. I'm busy. Get back to you now, Bea.
I'm going to listen, but I'm going to put off my because I'm cutting out. Okay.
All good,
Okay.
Linda.
Okay.
So presentation should be visible now. Everybody can see the presentation?
Yeah, you can see it. Thanks, Bea.
Fantastic. Then just let me quickly introduce the two of you, our main speakers for today and the main actors here. So thank you very much for everybody who is joining the call tonight. I'm here in Germany right now, currently. My name is Bea Strive, and I'm super, super excited about the call tonight because tonight it's about the active people and those maybe who want to be active. And it's not just for the super duper athletes, it's also for the people who just go here and there for a walk and just want to fuel their muscle the right way to get the most benefit out of it. But without any further ado, I'm so pleased and we are so blessed actually to have two amazing speakers here tonight. They talk not from theory, I can tell you, they talk from praxis. So the one is into gym like crazy, where she comes from a background as a couch potato, and the other one comes from a background also, no more as a golfer, as I remember, but now into Olympic weightlifting and now into cycling like crazy. Did the first time the cycling tour in Cape Town. So without any further ado, over to my good friends. I don't know who is starting from the two of them, but I just hand over to both of them. Our active world team, Lisa Jardim, and our world team, Pepe Labim Flanga. I'm looking forward to hear from you.
Awesome stuff. Thanks, Bea. I think Pepe is going to be up first to introduce herself. So if you can switch over to the next slide, that would be awesome. Thanks, Bea.
Good evening, everybody. For those that don't know me, my name is Pepe Labim Flanga, aka Coach Pepsi. So my journey with Herbalife Nutrition started 2017. Like Bea already said, I was a couch potato. I used to be very tired all the time. I used to exercise, but because of my bad nutrition, I didn't get any results. I didn't like the way I looked. I didn't love myself. I lacked self-confidence. I just didn't love life at all. So what I was looking for when I started on this journey was just to get a bit of energy, to be able to get out of work, to be out of bed, to be able to stay awake, and just to look in the mirror and feel like a person again. So December 2016, actually, I met my amazing sponsor at the gym. I actually approached her because prior to seeing her with a Herbalife bag, I had seen a lot of people that had amazing bodies on Instagram, on Facebook, and every time I saw them, they were associated with Herbalife. So when I saw her with a Herbalife bag, I actually approached her because I wanted to know more about Herbalife. So long story short, I started on the products it was on a Saturday, and I got the tea and the shake, and I started on the products on a Saturday immediately. And by Monday, guys, my energy levels were off the hook, and I just loved the feeling of the energy, and that's how I committed to just living a healthy, active lifestyle with these products. And I started changing my eating habits, my lifestyle completely. And now, as you can see, my smile is wider. I speak louder. I just love the way I feel. And I lost excess body fat and I started shaping up. Now I love exercising. I exercise 5 to 6 times a day. I have so much confidence. And I just love the Herbalife Nutrition. And I'm super excited for tonight because I'm gonna give over to our my amazing co-host Liesl Jardine to share a bit more about the sports nutrition.
Awesome stuff, Pepe. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And I remember the very shy and non-exercising person that you used to be. And seeing the changes you now is really amazing. So well done to you, my friend. Am I the only person picking up feedback, or is anyone else picking up feedback as well?
No, it's good now, Liesl. I think it's just because Tawanda was unmuted. I sorted it.
Okay, all right, perfect. Thanks so much, Bia. Right, so I got started on Herbalife 13.5 years ago now, and I was introduced to Herbalife by a really good friend of mine. And at that stage in my life, I had pretty much given up on being able to lose weight because I had tried every diet, good and bad, under the sun to try and lose weight and shape up, and I found that nothing worked. But because of my friend's results, I very skeptically got started on the products. And you can see from the pictures on the left, I really wasn't in a good space. I led a very unhealthy lifestyle, which of course led to the excessive weight gain. I was grumpy and moody all the time. I had no energy, and I felt pretty much hopeless about actually being able to lose the weight. That all changed when I got started on the Herbalife products. One of the most significant things that I noticed within the first week of getting started wasn't the weight that I had already lost in the first week. It was actually the amount of energy that I had gained just from changing a couple of things in my nutrition. So now I lead a really healthy, active lifestyle. I've had significant weight loss. I'm happy and in a good mood. I have lots of energy. I can train 6 days per week, and I do that because I want to, not because anyone is forcing me to do it. And I'm grateful for my new life as I continue to work on my body goals and fitness. I completed my first August cycle tour this year. For those who don't know, it's a 109-kilometer cycle race around the Cape Peninsula. You go from one ocean over to the other side. So it's a pretty hectic race, but I had so much fun preparing for that and training for that. And aside from that, I do focus a lot on Olympic weightlifting and weightlifting in general. That's always been my first love when it comes to exercise. But, you know, it's going to be my privilege to tell you a little bit more about the amazing Herbalife 24 product range that we've got. And we've got quite a few people on the call this evening, I think, who actually do use the products for their training. Pepe and I are going to be sharing, Bia is going to be sharing her experience of using the products. And we're going to give you an overview of the different sports that we do and how we use those products. But before I do that, I think it's really important that you guys understand what Herbalife puts into the development of its product ranges. Sorry, Bia, you're going to share your story first before I jump in. I'm jumping the gun there. So please share your results. Sorry.
No, you're in such a nice flow. You just continue now with what you wanted to say. I can introduce myself later, no problem.
Sorry, Bia. Apologies for that. Right. So I don't know if the slide is loaded properly on your side, Bia. I'm only seeing a black screen. Okay. So Herbalife really spends a lot of money in research and development to put all of their products together, but there's a lot of time and effort that went into developing the Herbalife 24 sports range because they really wanted to position themselves in the market as the leading sports nutrition brand. So no cost was spared in the research and development. So this really ensured that we have the most scientifically advanced product in the world. And if you go onto Herbalife's website and you look at the sponsored athletes that we have, I think that is already a great testament to how good these products are, because these are professionals. They wouldn't invest their bodies in using these products if they weren't convinced that it's worth their while. And we have an extensive team of some of the world's leading doctors and scientists who continuously work on improving the product range to ensure that it really does provide the best nutrition available. And the great thing is that Herbalife makes sure that they only use the best raw materials. And for those of you who've been around a little bit longer in Herbalife, you know that once or twice we've had products in our product range that have been discontinued purely because Herbalife can't source the good quality raw materials that they want. So they will never compromise and put in a substandard raw material. If they can't find it and source it, they would rather discontinue a product than provide a substandard product. And this is in line with Herbalife's seed to feed approach, where they not just look at the end product and try and source ingredients from different places. They like to control the process from where the farmer cultivates the soy, for instance, or the aloe fields. They want to make sure that those raw materials are produced in the correct way from the ground up until we sit with the final product in our hands. But with the Herbalife 24 range, Herbalife focuses on stringent testing on all the raw materials. So there's up to 60 certification documents per ingredient and up to 1,000 documents per product. So every batch of Herbalife 24 products is analyzed for any banned substances or anything that can cause an issue for an athlete when they get tested at their sporting events, which I think is a really very valuable trademark of the product. So they get tested for banned substances. I'll tell you a little bit more about what that process entails. So as I mentioned earlier, Herbalife has really focused on aligning this with the top end of the professional sports market. And those people want the best of the best when it comes to whatever sports nutrition they use. So the great news is that this isn't just a specialized line of products only for athletes. Like Dr. Dana Ryan, who's one of our sports doctors in Herbalife, says that if you are someone who's physically active, you are considered an athlete. So you might not be a professional athlete, but you are considered an athlete or a weekend warrior. So anyone at any level can use these products to support their nutrition goals in the physical activities that they take part in. So, you know, for me, it's always a great thing that if the approach is good enough for the world's leading Olympic gold medalists and the world number one soccer player, Cristiano Ronaldo, then it's pretty much good for anyone else. So top sports people want the best results from a safe, top quality product with no negative side effects or possibility of testing positive in any way whatsoever. So I'm going to cover a couple of general principles around sports nutrition and how you can use our products and how your body or what your body expects during fueling for your sport that you take part in. So a good quality nutrition program is not just about what you use during your activity. You actually need to look at what you're doing before your exercise or before your sport, during as well as post, which would be your recovery workout phases. So this is why Herbalife called the range Herbalife 24, because they really look at an athlete's needs 24/7 of what they need from morning to night. And they wanted to make sure that it's really simple and easy to use. So what do you need to perform? There's a couple of basic essentials that you need. First of all, you need highly digestible and absorbable carbs, high quality protein, and essential fatty acids. Your carbs are what provide your body with energy. Protein helps with muscle repair as well as recovery. Then your essential fatty acids are important to support your joints, nervous system, as well as your cardiovascular system. So there's 4 essential phases that we focus on when it comes to sports nutrition. The first part is fueling, what you do before your workout, refueling, what you do during your workout as well as after, repair, which comes after, and recovery, which comes after your sporting activity as well. So when we look at fueling, there are 2 basic sources of energy that your body will utilize. The first is what we call your instant fuel, and your instant fuel is your carbohydrates. The problem is there's only so much carbohydrates that your muscle can store. So examples of your food sources of carbohydrates would be things like breads, pasta, rice, vegetables, fruits, honey, and sugar. Carbs are converted in your body and stored in the muscle in the form of glycogen, and that is our immediate source of energy. So if I had to suddenly jump up out of my chair, the energy that my body would utilize to be able to facilitate that movement would be glycogen. So the easiest way to get that into your body as an athlete would be to consume it in a liquid form, because it's easier converted from a liquid form into the glycogen that needs to be stored in your muscle. So your muscles are your immediate use fuel tanks. But as I said, your capacity is limited there. So your reserve fuel that your body can rely on is your fat stores. Those are what we call your long distance fuel tanks. The only problem is that your body won't start utilizing those fat reserves until you've burned up a certain amount of carbohydrates. So fat can only be burned as fuel in the flame of carbohydrates. So your body has to have sufficient carbohydrates first to get the thing going, and then only your body can start utilizing your fats as a reserve fuel. But, you know, this typically only happens around 15 to 20 minutes of brisk aerobic exercise before your body can do that switch over. And it also depends on the intensity of your activity. If your intensity level is too high, your body is going to keep on looking for carbohydrates because that's the instant fuel source. It won't focus on the fats as such. Right, so looking at what you can use for your fueling phase, Healthy Meal is our Formula One sport. Obviously, you can use the normal Formula One shakes as well, but there's a couple of key things about the Formula One Sport that I'm going to share with you guys why it is great for sporting activities. So it contains 20 grams of milk dairy protein, which is the two forms of protein there is whey and casein, and athletes prefer protein that comes from an animal source like dairy protein because they are of the opinion that it gets assimilated and absorbed faster into the body. But the Formula One Sport also contains a good dose of amino acids, which are really those essential building blocks that we need for your muscle. And the reason Herbalife included two types of milk dairy protein is if you look at the graph at the bottom, you'll see that it depends on how quickly the amino acids are released. So Herbalife focuses on fast release that your body can use immediately, as well as slow release. So the whey is your fast release, casein is your slow release. That's why they combined both into the shake. It contains a blend of carbohydrates. Remember, I said that's your immediate fuel source, so you do need that. And the great thing is that it contains very little lactose. Now, lactose is a milk sugar, which tends to be an irritant for a lot of people digestively. So it's got 1 gram of lactose versus if you're drinking a glass of milk, you get 13 grams of lactose in that. So if you're lactose intolerant, this product would be much better and much lighter on your tummy. It also contains 1,000 milligrams of L-glutamine. Now, L-glutamine is an important amino acid for muscle building as well. So up to 50% of L-glutamine actually gets lost during exercise. So this is a great way to make sure that your reserves are topped up. And then it also contains 20 vitamins and minerals. So it really is a complete meal. It's not just a protein shake. Then it also contains antioxidants in the forms of vitamin C, E, and A, which supports your immune function. So again, also remember exercise is great, but it also starts breaking down your body at the same time. So you need to support your immune system, and it helps to scavenge those free radicals because the more oxygen we take in, the more our body creates free radicals. So the benefits of the Formula One Sport is that it's a balance of complex and simple carbs and gives you immediate as well as sustained energy. It's got your purified milk proteins, delivering a blend of whey and casein protein for that immediate and sustained protein release. Your 1,000 milligrams of L-glutamine, which is that amino acid that supports muscle growth and immune function, and then your antioxidants to help scavenge those free radicals. And it only comes in at 179 calories. So even if you are someone who's focused on weight loss, you can use the product. So who is this for? It's for a serious athlete who travels for competition. It's also for a recreational athlete who needs a reliable, healthy meal, or a busy professional who is constantly on the go, but also does workouts to stay fit, or an aspirational athlete looking to impact their appearance and performance. So it supports all of those people on all of those levels. Right. So one of the other things you need to focus on is hydration. All right. So Herbalife 24 developed the Hydrate, which is a great advanced hydration product. It's very, very low in calories, very, very low in sugar. It's only got 15 calories. With one sachet. If you compare that to things like Gatorade or Powerade, you're looking at 120 or 100 calories plus for those products. All right, so your 24 Hydrate includes bioavailable electrolytes for rapid body fluid restoration, which means bioavailable, the body absorbs it straight away. So it doesn't have to go through a whole process before your body can, or your cells can actually access it. It gets absorbed straight away. Less than 15 calories per serving, only 1 gram of sugar per sachet, and it comes in a convenient sachet form, 20 sachets in one of those boxes. It's caffeine free. It also contains vitamin B and C, which helps to support your body's ability to metabolize the carbohydrates that you consume, and also acts as an antioxidant with your vitamin C. So it also gives you those essential minerals that you need also to support your hydration. So how do you take this to the marketplace? You can use it yourself and sample it. You can check with people asking if they're fatigued. And this is a product I've recommended to clients who struggle with fatigue, because oftentimes they might be drinking enough water, but their bodies aren't really absorbing the water well enough because they've got a mineral imbalance. So the Hydrate is a great product to recommend just from that point of view alone, whether you're an athlete or not. If people struggle with cramps, it's a great product as well. Or if they're lacking endurance and muscle strength, hydration really is very key with those things. After strenuous exercise, it's a great way to hydrate without adding a ton of calories. And it's got 30 times less sugar and more than 3 times the electrolytes than what you would have in your conventional energy drinks that you buy in the marketplace. All right, so definitely worth adding to your program, whether you are an athlete or not.
I just want to jump in quickly, Leslie, if you don't mind, but just specifically the Hydrate. When people have a running tummy, I discovered it helps big time also to stay hydrated. And it's an absolutely unsporty tip, but I know that also sporty people from time to time love to have a drink in the evening. So if you are scared to have a hangover the next day, we discovered actually when you have hydrate in the evening, before you go to bed, you feel tops in the morning. And then obviously when we have super hot days, which is unbelievable just now in South Africa, but they come back soon, then also hydrate is a brilliant, brilliant product. And also when you fly a lot, stay hydrated during air-conditioned times and stuff like that. It's perfect.
Yep. Okay, so who needs hydrate? Pretty much everyone. I think Bia gave some really great examples there as well. So anyone who's looking for a low-calorie hydration product, it's amazing. Athletes during intense training, anyone exercising before or after work, anyone who leads an active job, you know, someone who's a builder, a painter, any kind of physical labor throughout the day, it's a great way to keep yourself hydrated. And electrolytes are for everybody. You know, it allows the body to stay hydrated. It helps your cells generate energy. Those minerals are really important. And it also allows your muscles to contract and relax. So without those mineral elements there, that's not going to happen. So if you want your body to function optimally, you really need to look at your hydration. So refueling, right? So after your workout, you need to start refueling. So during an event, you can already start with your refueling. So with medium to long duration sporting events, it's important to refuel regularly during the event. So for instance, when I did my Argus cycle tour this year, I couldn't just take something before and nothing during my ride. I had to start refueling already during my ride. You need to use carbohydrates in a liquid form because these are quickly assimilated. And then after the event, you need to continue refueling with those carbohydrate-rich foods and liquid up to 2 hours after your exercise. All right, of course, you need to scale this according to your physical activity. If you just walked for 45 minutes on the treadmill in the gym, this wouldn't necessarily be your regimen that you would follow. But if you've done something where you've exerted yourself for at least an hour, I would say, then you do need to start looking at what you're doing to refuel during as well as after the event. And it's also then for after the event essential to include protein replenishment as well. You've got a window, what they call a window of opportunity, where your maximum potential for glycogen replenishment is within 30 minutes after your exercise, as well as for protein assimilation. So that window of opportunity, those 30 minutes, is really key for your body to absorb all of that nutrition. It's not that it won't do so later on, but that's your optimum time to do so. So your muscles are most receptive to carbohydrate refueling during this period. So that's why it's also good to have something in a liquid form for your recovery, because the body can assimilate it faster. All right, so there's a couple of products that we can use, and I never really got Prolong until I used it for the cycle tour. Because I never really did exercise that would warrant me using the Prolong, but this has become my favorite product for my cycling, and I'll share with you guys a little bit later why. So the dual source carbohydrates and electrolytes. So one serving of this comes with 48 grams of carbohydrate for energy. And again, Herbalife smartly realizes that an athlete would need an immediate source of energy as well as a sustained release in terms of replenishment. So that's why they included maltodextrin, which is there for fast release, as well as fructose, which is a slow release carbohydrate. So this helps to speed up your recovery. It also contains electrolytes, which already helps you to rehydrate. And it's got 7 grams of whey protein isolate. So smartly, Herbalife already knows that your muscle is getting depleted, protein in your muscle is getting depleted as you exercise as well. So they included a bit of protein in here to start helping the body with that recovery process as well. And then it also contains antioxidant protection. So the Prolong for me is a brilliant, brilliant product if you're doing any kind of endurance activity. And it contains 500% of your daily value. Sorry, Bia, you jumped a bit quickly. The daily value of your vitamin C, also helping with those free radicals. So it really helps your body start the recovery process in a very good way and on all levels. So who needs Prolong? So this is someone who does exercise at a bit of a higher level, like triathletes competing in a combined bike to run workout or on the race day, cyclists on a 4-hour or longer training ride. I would actually even recommend a serving of the Prolong if you're doing a 2-hour ride or anything more than 2 hours. I find it's very beneficial for that. a swimmer competing a morning workout, or a soccer player. So typically your endurance events that last for a little bit longer than say 90 minutes, I would really recommend looking at least having one serving of the Prolong. I think it's perfect for those sporting events. So now we look at your repair. So your basic principles, protein is going to give you those amino acids which assist in your muscle repair. The more strenuous the physical activity, the greater your muscle damage. All right. So the lower demand sports, you need to be focusing on replenishing around 1 gram to 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Higher demand sports, it can be anywhere between 1.5 up to 2 grams protein. And for some people, it could be even a little bit more than that. So you do need high quality protein to repair the muscles quickly and efficiently. It's not just about ingesting any kind of protein. You want to make sure it's a good source of quality protein. So how do you assist with this repair process? You want to get quickly digestible protein because it needs to be taken immediately after exercise together with those carbohydrates. Always keep in mind that window of opportunity of 30 minutes that I spoke about. So that's really essential. Additional protein should be taken 1.5 to 2 hours after your exercise. Okay, so typically what I did straight after my Argus ride is I consumed a Rebel Strength shake straight after. Liquid form, I got protein and a bit of carbohydrates straight back into my body. And then about 2 hours after that, I actually had a meal where I enjoyed a nice source of protein and some veggies together with that. All right, but at least I made sure that my immediate needs in my body are taken care of. So we've got our Rebuild. There's 2 products in this range. There's the Rebuild Endurance as well as the Rebuild Strength. And the names already tell you what their purpose really is. So the Rebuild Endurance is more focused on your endurance sports because it contains a little bit more carbohydrates than what the Rebuild Strength would. But it also does have protein because you need that muscle recovery even if you're doing an endurance event. So it contains 14 grams of tricore protein, which is your whey protein, casein protein, as well as your amino acids, 36 grams of carbohydrates, 3,500 milligrams of L-glutamine, which helps with that muscle and immune function, 500 milligrams L-carnitine, which helps with your recovery, as well as your branch chain amino acids, which are essential building blocks for muscle. Now, oftentimes people will say, yeah, but I think the Herbalife products, the Herbalife 24 products are a bit expensive. What you need to remember is that Herbalife combines sometimes up to 3 different products in one of their products. So people will supplement with a protein shake. They will have a shake as a meal. They will have branch chain amino acids that they consume separately. Herbalife takes all of that, and it's actually quite technical to be able to combine all of those things into one product. But Herbalife always exceeds expectations, and they manage to do that. So you don't have to take 3-4 different products to get the effect of one of these. So keep that in mind when people ask about that. And the other great thing is that it's so low in calories, only 190 calories, and it has your electrolytes for rehydration as well. So actually in this one, you've got 4 different types of products already built into one. 6 milligrams of iron, which is also essential for your muscle recovery. So that combination of carbohydrate plus protein is going to help you with your recovery. Then looking at the Rebuild Endurance and who the people are that would use Rebuild Endurance, it would be your cross-country runners after a 10-kilometer run, cyclists after an uphill training ride, a soccer player after a practice or a game. So you can hear a lot of the endurance type of sports, triathletes after an endurance training or competition, swimmers as well. So your Rebuild Strength is your go-to general recovery shake. All right. So Rebuild Strength is the one that we would use if we have a gym workout, or if we're doing a hectic weight training session, or if you just did a general light workout and you're looking for something to just help a little bit with that recovery. The Rebuild Strength is the full end product there. So this helps with immediate and sustained muscle recovery. It's got 25 grams of dairy protein, which is already a really great start for a recovery shake. 18 grams of carbs to help you with that energy replenishment. 1,700 milligrams of L-glutamine, which helps with that muscle and immune function, muscle repair and immune function. Again, your branch chain amino acids, which are those essential building blocks for muscle, and also only 190 calories per serving. So again, even if you are someone who's focused on weight loss, it's a great product to incorporate. Bioavailable electrolytes for rehydration. So again, combining 3 or 4 different products into one to make sure that you get the best. Also 6 milligrams of iron. All right, so Rebuild Strength, I know, has been voted as one of the top recovery shakes for a number of years by Triathlete magazine and a couple of other sporting bodies as well. So who is this typically for? It's a powerlifter after finishing a gym session, a CrossFit athlete after a workout, anyone looking to build lean muscle. So this is often a product that we would recommend to people who are looking to gain weight as well, all right, to add on healthy muscle. Anyone who needs high protein. So people who do have very high demands on high protein needs, Rebel Strength is great for that. Office worker looking for protein-rich afternoon shake, or anyone after a yoga or Pilates workout. Your muscle needs that recovery, and the Rebel Strength is really great for that. So recovery is really essential for ongoing performance. You need to make sure that you're focused on using and combining the right products to help your body recover properly. So when you have increased cardiovascular activity, I touched on this earlier on, your body takes in more oxygen, but at the same time, that also increases your free radical intake. And free radicals are the things that actually break down your cells. They are loose molecules that float around in your body, and they attach themselves to your cells, and they actually start breaking down your cells. And this slows down your recovery time. So making sure that you take in antioxidants really helps to combat and get rid of those free radicals, and that reduces your recovery time. And you know, I was expecting after my August ride this year that I was going to be really, really stiff. I had no muscle stiffness, no soreness, and that was after just over 6 hours in the saddle. I felt fantastic, and basically 2 days after I completed my August, I was back to exercising and working out again without any issues whatsoever. And I can only attribute it to my nutrition program that I was following with the Herbalife 24 products. So those antioxidants can also help with speeding up of your lactic acid removal. So lactic acid is what causes the muscle stiffness and soreness, and that also causes damage to your cells. And this also reduces muscle fibril degradation. Big fancy word, all that means is it prevents muscle breakdown. And it also increases your glycogen resynthesis. So in other words, for the body to keep replenishing glycogen, it's really important for that too. So with recovery, you can then still continue to have your regular meal shakes, your Formula One sport shake, and continue with your hydration throughout the day. All right, so after your workout and after you've done your normal recovery. All right, so as I mentioned already, Rebel Strength was voted in Triathlete magazine as one of the top recovery products. And if you're a coach and you're wanting to talk to people about how to use the products, it's always about using the products, sharing your experience, and getting people to taste the products. Because also a lot of sports products out in the marketplace taste terrible. Our products taste amazing. You actually start looking for a reason to exercise so that you can have the products. All right, so you can have a look at some of the reviews on sports.herbalife.com. You can have a look at the athlete testimonials. I think Herbalife has over 260 or 270 athletes on their books now worldwide that use these products. And that is a rule from Herbalife. They will not sponsor an athlete if they don't use the products or they're not prepared to use the products. So they have to use the products. All right, so you can have a look at Herbalife24.com as well. There's lots of product clips, fact sheets about the products, and Herbalife even have like little guidelines showing you how you can plan your day according to your type of activity. So that's really important. Right. So hydration, you want to be fully hydrated before training or competition. Replenish your liquids regularly during exercise. Don't wait until you're thirsty. Daily water intake, those of you who are on the marathons as well, and if you've got a coach supporting you, you know how important hydration is. It's something we hammer on a lot. 1 liter for every 30 kilograms of body weight. And with sports activity, you can actually increase that by up to 50%. So there's a really cool thing that you can do to check your hydration levels, providing that you didn't eat food that can obviously impact the color of your urine. But generally, if you look at your urine, you want it to be just one of those 2 top yellow colors there. Then you know that you're reasonably well hydrated. Anything darker than that, you are actually dehydrated. All right. And by the time you find yourself thirsty, you're already dehydrated. And then rest. This is the thing that a lot of people forget and they don't focus on. So it's really essential for repair and recovery. It doesn't help you taking in all these great products and this great nutrition, but you're not getting enough rest to aid that repair and recovery. All right, so just a quick spotlight on some of the products. So CR7 Drive is one of the products that was added later on to the Herbalife 24 range. It was co-developed with Cristiano Ronaldo. And this is what I call Prolong's little brother. So this is for your shorter workouts. So where you have Hydrate, which is your anytime hydration product, whether you're active or not, if you're going to scale it up from there, you'd focus on CR7. All right, a little bit higher in calories. It's a hypotonic drink. Hypotonic, means it actually pushes water into your cells. It helps you hydrate faster. So that helps with endurance. It's got carbohydrates, electrolyte mix. So already it's giving you a little bit of extra carbs because you're exercising a little bit harder. It's only 411 kilojoules, which is just over 100 calories. It's easy to drink. It's got a really light flavor and taste. I've actually got it in my water bottle right now. And it also enhances the absorption of water during exercise. All right, so it's for your moderate to intense levels of activity. One of our other great sports products is Liftoff, only 9 calories. It's an effervescent energy drink. It contains a bit of caffeine from guarana and caffeine powder. This helps you to stay alert and focused. As a golfer, I used to love adding this into my water bottle. It was a great way to keep me focused on the golf course. It's got 100% of your B vitamins in one serving, 100% of your vitamin C recommended daily allowance, and also high in antioxidants. So another great way in which you can flavor your water without adding a ton of calories and also boosting your nutrition intake. And then the last 2 products I want to mention is the NRGT. This is one of my favorite go-to products. I know Herbalife is busy phasing it out, but we're still lucky to have it available in South Africa for now. And guarana really helps your body to maintain concentration and normal invigoration. So this is for me a great refreshing tea to have first thing in the morning. And then Nightworks. This is a nighttime food supplement, and this is great for everybody, but especially athletes as well. It contains the amino acids L-arginine and L-citrulline. It's high in folic acid and high in vitamins C and E. And what makes Nightworks so great is that the L-arginine and L-citrulline that you find in Nightworks is it almost acts, it helps the body to stimulate and produce more nitric oxide. And nitric oxide is a really important chemical in your body, because that actually gets your blood vessels to dilate. So when your blood vessels dilate, you have improved blood flow. So if you're thinking from an athlete perspective, where you want to get more oxygen into your body because you want to keep your muscles alive and awake and keep them going, this is a great product to use because it will really help with your endurance as well, apart from this helping just overall with circulation and general health. All right, so just to close off, the product testing that I mentioned earlier on, all our products are tested by a third party. So it's independently tested and screened for substances that are prohibited in sport. You can go and have a look at the Cologne list to see Herbalife products are there. All the certification documents, those thousands of certification documents that I mentioned right at the start, they're all there. So if you are a professional athlete or you compete, you can really use these products with confidence. You're not going to get tested for any banned substances or end up in any trouble, because each batch that Herbalife produces gets tested. All right, so in closing, if it's good for these athletes, it's good for any one of us. So I really want to encourage you, if you haven't tried the Herbalife 24 products, have a chat to your coach, or if you are a coach yourself, add in 1 or 2 of the products in your program based on your activity levels and start experiencing it, because the products are really, really amazing and they really support your athletic goals or your sports goals 100%. Thanks, Bia. I think that is the end of the slide deck that we put together for this evening. So before I hand back to Bia and to Pepe to share their experiences, I just wanted to share quickly that for my weightlifting, I am obviously still on a weight loss program. So I use my regular Formula 1 shakes for my meals, for my breakfast and for my lunch, or I'll have the savory shake as a soup now in winter here in South Africa. And I really enjoy those products. But I love hydrating throughout the day with Hydrate, as well as CR7, especially on the days where I'm active. For Prolong, how I use that during the Argus, you want to focus on for endurance events, around 60 to 90 grams of carbohydrates per hour that you're doing your endurance event. So I opted for kind of the middle of that. So I had 2 of these water bottles on my bike, and I took extra Prolong with me in my cycling shirt. So I knew around about the 50-kilometer mark, I would have finished 2 of these bottles. So in one bottle like this, I had 1.5 servings, which gave me around about between 75 and 80 grams of carbohydrates. And that's what I used to fuel myself. And when I got to the 50-kilometer mark, there was a water station. Both my bottles were empty then at that stage. I filled up with water again. I added in my Prolong, shook it up, and I had my another 2.5 or 1.5 servings per bottle of the Prolong. And I know Rulof, he was on the call earlier on. I don't know if he's still here, but he met up with me at the end, at the finish. And I think I, as well as those who were there to support me, were quite surprised to see how well I actually looked. And I wasn't really sore after, or too tired after the event. And these products really helped to keep me hydrated, to keep me energized, and that I don't end up completely fatigued after doing 109 kilometers. So I can highly recommend that if you cycle, that you really give the Prolong a go, especially if you're doing longer rides of, say, 60 kilometers onwards. It's a great product to add into your program. And then for recovery, the Rebuild Strength. I know the Rebuild Endurance is there, but the Rebuild Strength has always been my favorite. That's my go-to product when I'm taking part in any kind of sports events, whether it's weightlifting or my cycling. So that's pretty much it from my side. I think I've spoken long enough and more than enough and shared my experience. So I want to hand back. I don't know who's going to go first, Pepe or Bia, to share their experiences on how they use the products. Thanks, guys. You're going to go.
Hi, everybody. Bia, should I share and then you just close with your story?
Perfect.
Okay, cool. So guys, like I said, I shared my story when I started on the products. My goal was to gain some energy, but in the meantime, I shaped up and I have tons of energy. So what did I do with that energy? I started exercising more. And that's when I also learned about the sports range. And at the moment, for me, I exercise a lot. I am at the gym at 5 in the morning, and sometimes I exercise in the evening as well. So with the amazing sports range, so what I do is I only use the Rebuild Strength for recovery, and I use the CR7 during my workout. I use the normal Formula One shake because I love it. So before I go to the gym in the morning, my pre-workout is actually my tea and aloe. So I'll have my tea and aloe and have an express bar because it's easier for me to have an express bar than have a shake in the morning. So I'll have my tea and aloe and have my express bar, have my CR7 ready for during my workout because I sweat quite a lot because I wake up a bit hard and I do like more than an hour of workout. So I use my CR7 during the workout. People that know me at the gym, they always see me with my pink water because that's what I use when I work out. And after my workout, I'll have my Rebuild Strength because like Lizo said, within 30 minutes, you need to have your recovery shake. And then an hour later, I'll have my normal shake for breakfast as well. So I usually have at least 2 shakes a day or an express bar and a shake. And usually at night, another great tip I got from Lizo, I use Nightworks mixed with Rebuild Strength when I go to sleep because they both help with your muscle recovery. And obviously, we know Nightworks helps with the blood flow and all that. So I find that it really works really amazing. I wake up with lots of energy. And so people that know me, they will go follow my WhatsApp status. They will see every single morning if I go to the gym, I'm already excited because I wake up with that energy. So I'm super, super grateful for this amazing product. Thank you, Bia. Over to you.
Awesome, Pepe. First of all, Pepe and Lisa, thank you so much for organizing the call tonight and for putting this beautiful presentation together. Thank you so much, Lisa, for sharing all the information. And I know you studied actually a lot about sports nutrition. So this is not just out of the book. This is really because you studied it. You want to know always the details. And thank you so much to share it with us on a normal level that normal people like I can also understand it. So I didn't grow up as a sports person per se. I just started at one stage, the running, and I'm a little bit a funny runner. And I'm pleased actually that I see Susan here on the call with me. She actually got me into the running club in Century City, which I joined, and I think she still gets gray hair because watching me, I run sometimes, then I don't run, and then I pitch for the half marathon without even training. But that's my history as a runner now already. And for me, I think the products did just the magic. First of all, it helped me in the beginning to drop 2 pen sizes. And this was just with the normal sports range, not being highly active, because my background was that I was exercising a lot and never got into shape. And I really needed to fix the nutrition, where I had to learn it's 80% nutrition and 20% exercise. I had to limit my exercise actually and to increase the nutritional intake, but I couldn't increase the calorie intake. And this is where Herbalife helped me big time with the normal range. And then once at a later stage, so I'm using Herbalife now since more than 28 years. So a couple of years later, they started to introduce the Herbalife 24 range. And I tapped into it, and step by step, I realized actually when I start to use I love the Rebuild endurance, but I must say I'm a big fan of the Rebuild strength. And it has a little bit to do with the flavor. I'm not too much the vanilla freak after a workout. I'm the chocolate freak after workout. And the Rebuild strength is just super delicious. And I can feel really how quick my body recovers. Also, after the half marathon, I did the 2 Ocean this year, and I'm really planning to do the full next year, Susan. So I guarantee I'm on it if I'm not back in October for the Sanlam. But I must say also the hydration plays a big role. So during my run, actually, I don't like to run with a bottle or with some people use the bladder. I really use just to take the sachets from the Hydrate, or preferably actually when it's a half marathon, the CR7 with me. And when we have the water stand, then basically just take a cup of water, add half of the sachet from the CR7, and that keeps me going actually throughout the race so beautifully. And for me, the big win actually is that I don't feel tired after exercise, because usually I was super tired the whole day after exercise. But I also would like to encourage a couple of questions. Maybe we have questions here, so you are more than welcome to ask your questions here on the chat, or to either type it in the chat or just ask it open. And as I said earlier on, it's not just for the average sports person, it's for the top athletes, it's for the one who's just wanted to get started into exercise. And even people who just start now slowly but surely walking, you will experience that you also feel like a little bit of muscle pain, because you use your muscle the very first time. And even their Hydrate and the Rebuild strength can help you big time. Also, when people have a lot of hunger, sometimes in the evening, then it's sometimes that you don't get enough protein. And there the Rebuild strength is just, I see a lot of people sleep so much better when they have a Rebuild strength before they go to bed. Also, people who want to gain weight, they need more protein often, and they also the Rebuild strength before bedtime does often do the trick and does the magic. So back to you, Liesl. Pepe, do you have any magic tips still for our athletes and in future to be athletes?
Pepe, you have anything you want to add before I say something? I've spoken enough tonight.
For me, I just wanted to say to Liesl, thank you again for that sports information. Like, I always want to listen to you talk about nutrition. It gives. For me, the main thing, what I want to say to anyone, that we as Herbalife people or customers or whoever, we don't need to worry about what do they put in here. I can't go to check to Clicks or Dis-Chem and take a product and ask anyone what is in there. We have everything. Our doctors are there on hand. They give us all the information that we need. We have people like Liesl that are interested in nutrition, and they go out there and learn, and they come and tell us about it. So that's what I love, because I'm not a reader myself. I don't want to lie. So I'm just happy that I know I'm safe using this product. So anyone who wants to try the sports range, Hydrate, guys, like Bia said, after a night out, have your Hydrate. I have tried it. It works like a bomb. So that's it for me. Thank you.
I think we've got a question there from Rulof. Is the protein in the products only whey protein, or does it also have soy protein like the other shakes? With the Herbalife 24 range, Herbalife decided on your milk proteins. So they're not vegan in that regard. So they use animal protein there because that's what athletes prefer. They did a lot of research into that, and athletes prefer having prefer having the dairy protein in there. So that's why you'll generally find whey and casein protein. They don't contain any soy in their sports products. And also, you know, alongside that, I've had clients who are looking for shakes who are vegan or who are against any dairy products. They don't want to use any dairy products. So you can always incorporate our Formula One shakes. There's no harm in using them. Before the Herbalife 24 range was created, our professional athletes all just used our regular Formula One shakes anyway. The Herbalife 24 range just has a couple of extra benefits and features added in with your branch chain amino acids and, you know, the extra things that you would want as an athlete to support your nutrition. But it doesn't mean that the other products don't contain it. It might just contain those ingredients in lesser quantities. So yeah, I hope that answers that question. Rulof asks if the products are gluten-free. Rulof, you're actually asking me a good question. I haven't checked. Bia, can you recall if the Herbalife 24 range is gluten-free?
Yeah.
You've stumped me there, Rulof.
As we know, a product who is really 100% gluten-free, we need to have the GF on the label. This is not right now for our sports range. But as you mentioned already, all our main range is gluten-free and vegan. So sports people who really need to look out for that specifically for health reasons, they are better with the main range. But there's good news around the corner. So Herbalife never leaves a question open. Herbalife works already on gluten-free and vegan sports range as well. It's just we never bring something on the market which doesn't produce a result. So we don't want to bring something on the market which says it's a sports product, it's vegan, it's gluten-free, it's blah, 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 and you don't get the results on it. So we want to guarantee that you really build the muscle, recover the muscle and all of that. And therefore, wait a little bit. I'm sure Herbalife comes out soon with that, also in Europe and in Africa. In the US, it's tapping into the market now already. So those who are coaches, you might want to look a little bit on the US side, but we won't get it into another country before it's officially launched, but you can follow up a little bit there. So there's always the beauty in Herbalife, and I'm now almost 30 years in Herbalife, I know when there is something needed in the market, they work on it. But they also bring it only in the market when it's safe and when we really get results on it. So we won't push something in the market just to make money. We only push it in the market when we really get the results and our people are happy and healthy with the products. Mariette writes, I want to almost equate the effect of stress also to the importance of the recovery, just like an extensive exercise. 100%, Mariette, I cannot agree more. The more stressful stress and exercise is actually stress for your body. Yeah, even when it's a positive stress. So we know negative and positive stress, but both is stress for your body. This is why there is a higher need in antioxidants. This is why there's a higher need in protein. This is why there's a higher demand. And often we see people who go through stressful times that they don't have appetite or they don't have time at all to eat or they overeat. And that all comes together because of your body is in a, how can I say, in such a shock state almost, yeah. And this is why when we use really, and you're the brain specialist, Mariette, I say now when we use our brain, when we know our understanding, then everybody who is here on the call, please understand when you do exercise, when you have stressful times, when you have the flu even, that's stress for your body needs more nutrition. So that's the time when you want to add an extra shake. This is the time when you want to have even an extra rebuild strength. This is the time when you want to really focus on hydration, even when you don't feel for it, but your body needs it. Yeah, I often like to say, hey, when I don't have fuel in the car anymore, I can't tell my car, but I don't feel to go to the petrol station now. If not, I have a problem sooner or later. So I have to fuel my car and I have to fuel my body even when I don't feel for fueling, or I would feel more for the donut. But I know the donut does not help my stress level right now. So this is really where we need to focus. That's a brilliant tip here, Maria. Thank you so much for that. And you as an expert when it comes to the brain and everything, you know how important it is to fuel our body at the right time, because it goes in really every nerve cell in our brain, everywhere. it's absolutely needed. Thank you so much. So
Yeah, if I can perhaps just add in one last thing before we finish off, which is really
Yeah.
important, you know, talking about allergens and things like that. Herbalife strictly follows the labeling laws in every country where they have a presence in those markets. So I know specifically in South Africa, what is on the label will be in the product, and what you have in the product will be displayed on the label. And if there's any certain things that you need to be aware of where there might be a sensitivity, Herbalife does put that on the label. They do put it in bold letters as well. So you can always talk with confidence with clients and say, hey, well, if someone is gluten or allergic to gluten, let's have a look at the label. Let's see what the label says, because Herbalife makes sure that those things get covered on the labels as well. So you can always rely on the information that you find on there.
Liesel, I just want to mention something there around the Rulof's question on gluten-free. I know that Bia made mention of it earlier, but I quickly went to look because I also have the rebuild strength and so on. Of course, it is not gluten-free, but then again, I am actually not aware of any other products in that kind of category. If we really talk about training in terms of muscle groupings, and you get different types of training, of course, but I mean, the training environment that I'm more familiar with was results driven in muscle groupings, building building muscle and so on. And I'm not aware of actually any products in that category. I might be standing under correction, but I'm not aware of any that are gluten-free. Rulof, this is for at the moment that I'm aware of. Anyway.
Well, hopefully Herbalife is going to be the first company to make that happen, because there is a need for it. So let's see what happens. So some exciting times ahead if I listen in between the lines of what Bia was saying there. So
yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I thank you all for being on the call tonight, and I hope you got some nuggets out of it. I wish that you share the information with other people so that they understand it's great to exercise, but it's also important to fuel the body according to the level you exercise. And it's also, when you know people who have stress, like Mariette mentioned, that you mentioned that they need to focus on to have enough good nutrition. They don't need more calories, but they really need good nutrition. So thank you so much for being on the call tonight. I just wish you all stay healthy, stay fit, and I'm looking forward to see everybody in the launch here next Wednesday. Take care. Have a good evening, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks, Pepe.
Thank you, Pia.
Bye.
Thank you, Liesel. Thank you,
Bye.
Dad.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Pepe. Thanks, Liesel.
Bye, everyone.
Ciao.
Bye.